Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today we are going to be catching up and talking a little bit about Doomfist. So as everybody has probably heard by now, there are some changes to Doomfist on the PTR. Now, yes, it is a buff because he has some issues, lots of bugs going on with Doomfist. Everybody probably saw that forum post, or that Reddit post rather, that was the kind of 18 plus bugs for Doomfist. So when you fix a bunch of bugs on a character that has a lot of potential and a character that was formerly called OP, upon launch, then yes, it is a buff. But in terms of numbers, in terms of cooldowns, and kind of like the actual back-end programming of Doomfist numerically and value-wise, no, it's not a buff. But technically it's a buff. So just to get that open clarity out there, rather than just say in the title of the video, huge Doomfist buff, we'll kind of explain the thought process behind that. He's getting a buff, he's going to be more viable, yes, but it's because of the fact that he's getting bug fixes. Now, I played with him on the PTR some, and the footage that you actually are seeing in the background is a live version. And man, it definitely is pretty noticeable, most importantly on the rocket punch. Now, I might put some of the images for the changes in the PTR notes on the screen here, or I might just put the notes in the description box below for you to check out, because there are quite a few changes. The most notable ones are the rocket punch. It seems like it's much more opened up, which when he was first live, I suppose it was too big. It definitely felt kind of crazy, or maybe people just weren't used to it yet. And now, on live, it feels like you can slide right past somebody. You should have hit them, at least chip them, and you just don't get a hit at all. And a lot of the times, the person that you do hit on live just bounces off of stuff. So it's really, really weird. I don't know if it has to do with the angling or whatever it is, but that's what they're fixing now, and it actually felt a lot better. You can kind of 45-degree chip people, and it'll launch them, and they hit a wall, and they die. Or you can kind of directly hit them and you're not just ghosting through them, and it just feels a little bit more consistent. And that's, for a hero that is his own projectile, a hero that is jumping in the fight, you know what I mean? He relies on every single ability. He's an all-in hero. You can't really afford to not hit someone. And yeah, you're gonna miss with him, but at least this opens him up to, much more consistent play and much more consistent, options in terms of his kit. The second thing that actually felt really good is going up the ramps. You definitely get that, what people were saying is the stubbed toe feel, and you kind of just stutter step and you know what I mean? You do it with Winston too. You press shift or you press his leap and you just kind of and just lunk down onto the ground, and it just felt stupid because obviously that's not what you were going for. So the fact that they're fixing that kind of across the board for that type of mechanic and that kind of physics is good. So that's definitely noticeable as well. So that's good. Hopefully that works as intended. And whatever other bug fixes, some of which I had never even seen in the game, like the air slam acting weird, kind of giving you the ground slam while you were in the air. So hopefully that's all just good and it plays well. And he definitely felt just much more viable and much more comfortable from the one or two games that I played on the PTR. But the thing I do mostly want to talk about in terms of Doomfist, and this is the most important thing about the character's design as a whole, whether he's viable, whether he's bugged, whether he's overpowered, underpowered. I think that the perception, and we've heard about player perception a lot in this community when it comes to balance and what people think is and isn't overpowered. And when it comes to a hero like Doomfist, I have to say that I think he's one of those heroes that will either always be viewed as overpowered or will always be viewed as very, very bad. So when these changes go live, I'm kind of preparing and anticipating that we're going to get a lot of those he's overpowered kind of reports and thoughts from the community, from the vocal minority again. And the reason I say this is because Doomfist, a lot like Widowmaker in a way, challenges the way that you're allowed to play the game. He takes what you know about the game and he turns it upside down and forces you to play differently. When you're turning that corner and you're fine, you're usually just fine, they're gonna have a Junkrat or a Pharah, and sure, you might take a little bit of damage, but you're not gonna die. Well, all of a sudden, they have a good Widow on the enemy team, and one shot, you're dead. And the same goes for Doomfist. Were you actually checking your corners? Did you, have your audio up enough to hear him? Was he just, finding himself in a good position? Or do you need to start playing the game differently and approaching these situations with a little bit more of a meticulous, way? So I think Doomfist is going to be really good. Even if they don't buff him, and I have to say that I do think that Doomfist ultimate is just a problem in general. I think his ultimate is super inconsistent. It's hard to get kills with, and I might actually put out a video sometime soon talking about an ultimate idea I have for him, because I have an idea for something that they could just, you know, totally erase his ult with, so it would be just much more of a fun idea. But I am kind of, like I said, preparing for the fact that Doomfist is about to be considered overpowered again. I feel it already. I kind of know what the masses talks like. You know, I've been in gaming communities for like a decade, and when things challenge what you know, when things are a huge change in the game, whether or not he's already been in the game, he hasn't been super viable, so people aren't really trained against him, and they're not conditioned to look out for Doomfist. So he's going to come back in full force, I think. And do I think he's going to be a must-have pick or a super top pick? Not necessarily, but I do think he will find his way into the competitive scene at some point. So those are my thoughts on Doomfist. I think he's going to be a super cool hero as long as he works. That's really just kind of the condition for him. I don't want him to be super overpowered because, you know, undeniably he is kind of frustrating to play against, but that's fine because he's a give hero. He's a one-shotter. He's someone that, like I said, challenges what you know about the game and in terms will make you a better player when you learn to play against him. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about Doomfist? Do you think these are good changes for him? Do you think they need to buff his ultimate? And maybe let me know if you have an idea for his ultimate or a change, or if you want to hear mine in a future video. Thanks again for checking out this video. Please do not leave without leaving a like and subscribe for future videos. I'll see you on the next one.
Do you feel your bones start shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel the fire inside of me? Do you see the sparks that I'm setting free? Does the beat take you over? You just